artist that I covered was Sammy Davis Jr. And Bryce actually has a really cool tattoo of Sammy Davis Jr. And when he sent me the picture, I was just like, oh my god, that is too cool. So yeah, hi to Bryce and Eric, and I apologize for it taking me so long to mention you all. I was trying to think about what to talk about in this video because my week has been pretty low-key. I mean, Monday through Friday is pretty much the same for me every single week unless I go out of town, which I will be doing in a few weeks, which I'm excited about. I'm going to North Carolina for a day or two. But anyway, this week was pretty uneventful. I think like the highlight of my week was probably taking my niece to the library. That was our first time going, and I figured it would either go really well or it would be a complete disaster. I was actually pretty surprised, and I was very proud of her because she was really quiet and she just acted like a perfect little angel. She was so excited because she loves books. I mean, she loves to be read to, and then she also likes to read to other people. As soon as we walked in, she picked out one of the books off of the kids' shelf and sat right down at a table and just started reading it. And it was so funny because somehow she just knew exactly what to do. And that was her first time ever being in a library. So it was funny just to watch her. I didn't really say much to her. I just kind of observed her, and it was funny. I'm working with her on the whole inside-outside voice thing, and so I thought that that would be a good place to practice. And it was funny because anytime someone was loud or, you could kind of hear them, she would look up from her book and look at that person, and then she'd look back to me and she'd put her finger over her lips like that. And I would just kind of nod my head, and she just knew exactly what to do. It was so funny. But I ended up getting her several books, and she has been reading them or pretending to read them all week long. And I think I'm going to take her to the library once a week, or maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks, because it was just something that she seemed to really enjoy. I hadn't been to the library in years prior to that, and when I say years, it had probably been about 10. So I had to get a new card and update all of my information because I was no longer in the system. And so when I got my card, they handed me this sheet of paper, and it was talking about their online system for music, because back in the day, 10 years ago, when I used to go, they had just a whole section of CDs, and you would just check out, whatever CDs you wanted and then return those whenever they were due back. But now, it appears that everything is online, and that's basically what the paper was telling me. It just said that they no longer had actual CDs for rent, but instead everything was online. So I thought that that was really cool, and me being the lover of music that I am, I was so excited to see what they had. So a couple of days later, I was on the website and I was looking at the various albums they had available, and I was just kind of reading their policies and the rules and just kind of getting a feel for how everything worked. Well, I thought that you had a daily download limit of 3 songs. That's how I interpreted it. And so I thought that was really low, but then I was like, well, I can't complain too much because it is free. So within the first, I don't know, probably 5 minutes, I had already downloaded my 3 songs for the day. The next day, I signed back on to download my 3 songs for that day, but it said that my limit had been reached, and I was just like, what? This cannot be right. So I read everything over again, and it's actually a weekly limit of 3 songs and not a daily limit. I mean, 3 songs a crazy I am about older houses and things like that. So it was really weird because I wasn't really even looking for anything specific. I was just kind of going down the aisles, and for whatever reason, this book just stood out to me. And if you like old houses and you find things like that interesting, then you will absolutely love this book. It's got pictures of various houses and descriptions, and it's just incredibly interesting. So, I thought for today's video that I could make some tapping sounds on the book, maybe some page flipping, and read to you all a little bit. I get requests all the time to make videos with books, and so finally I am fulfilling one of those requests. Usually I just read very simple fairy tale books and just things that are just kind of lighthearted, but I hope that you all enjoy this and that you find it interesting. So yeah, I guess we'll get started. I have not planned out exactly what I'm going to read from this book. I just figured I'd just kind of go through it and just flip to a random page and see what's on there. Okay, so on one of the first pages is a page that says Building Styles 1640s through the 1880s, and it has just the various designs. It's got the medieval designs, and then the Cape Cod. Let's see, it's got the Italian, the Gothic Revival, the Greek Revival, Victorian, Queen Anne, Federal, and then there's a picture by each one. I think this is really interesting because you can just see how the house has kind of evolved over time, and I don't know. There's just something inside of me that is so interested in things like this. Okay, so the first one is in Greensboro, Alabama, and it is the Magnolia Grove, or the Hobson Memorial, and this was built in 1835. Well, it was built sometime between 1835 and 1838, and it says antebellum mansion that is the birthplace and ancestral home of Richmond Pearson Hobson, a Spanish-American war hero. It contains is called the Tavern. It was built in 1836. It is a two-story columned Greek Revival structure originally known as Irvington Inn and built to accommodate the river traffic on the Chattahoochee. It was used as a Confederate hospital during the war between the states. It was restored and now operated as a cultural and educational center. This is it right here. See, this is the house right here. This is another reason why I don't do book readings that often, is because of this microphone. I feel like I want to be able to show you all the picture, but I can't put it in front of the mic because you can't hear me talking, and then when I go around it, it's just weird and awkward. But anyway. Okay, let's see. They don't really have these pictures beside the descriptions on this page. Usually they're right beside them, but these are kind of spread out. But I'll read to you about the Governor's Mansion. This is also in Alabama, built in 1907. Greek Revival Mansion, originally designed by architect. Oh goodness. Weatherly Carter for Robert F. You know what? I cannot pronounce any of these names. This is going to be the most unrelaxing video ever. How about we make this a picture show and tell kind of video? Oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. I want to know from other content creators, have you ever sat down and tried to do a video where you are reading and for whatever reason that day you cannot pronounce the words? I don't know what is wrong with me today. Maybe this is another